Welcome to Animalia channel. Myself M. Gunakar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government Degree College, Siddipet, Telangana State. Today we shall learn Phylum Echinodermata, general characters and classification. Echinoderms are the ancient animals. They were originated during the Cambrian period. The term Echinodermata was derived from two Greek words. Echinos means hedgehog and or spiny. Derma means skin. So that means spiny skinned animals. And the term Echinodermata was introduced by Jacob Klein in 1734, but he used this Echinodermata word only for echinoids. And Linnaeus, in his famous book Systema Naturae, kept Asterias, Echinus and Holoturia under mollusca. We know that he has kept all invertebrates except insects in one class, vermis. And he included these Asterias, Echinus and Holoturia, now which are regarded as echinoderms under mollusca. And in 1801, Leuckart combined this Echinodermata with Coelenterata and placed them under Radiata, only with one characteristic feature. Only they have both of them because both of them they have one same symmetry, that is radial symmetry. But later on it was discovered that the Echinoderms shows quite different characters with that of which are not present in Coelenterata. That's why Leuckart in 1854 and along with his co-scientist Frey separated Echinodermata as a distinct and created a distinct group. That is, he has upgraded this Echinodermata as a distinct group, that is main invertebrate group. And from that time onwards, the Echinoderms were regarded as a separate group. And about 5,000 living species are known which are under Echinodermata, and 13,000 extinct species, about 13,000 extinct species are known under Phylum Echinodermata. And what is the specialty of these echinodermates is they are the non-chordate deuterostomes and enterocoelomates. Actually, this deuterostomous condition and enterocoelomate condition was the characteristic feature of chordates. But being the non-chordate, these echinoderms also show deuterostomous and enterocoelomate condition. As due to these reasons, these echinoderms were regarded as the ancestors of the chordate also, according to one theory. And as you see in Jacob Klein, the portrait of Jacob Klein can be seen here, and the Linnaeus, he was the Linnaeus, and he was the Lamarck, and lastly the last portrait shows the portrait of Leuckart. Now, when we see the general characters of the Phylum Echinodermata, as I said, this Phylum Echinodermata was the ancient phylum, and it was many from the Cambrian time onwards, Cambrian period onwards, these echinoderms were they were thriving. And when we see the Echinodermata's distribution, they were cosmopolitan in distribution. That means worldwide in distribution, and they are exclusively marine. Habitat is, that is, they live only in the marine water or sea water, either in the seas or oceans. Not even a single species was found from the land or in fresh water. And they are all free living, and none of them were parasites. Not even a single species was parasitic, but they lead a sluggish life. That is, they are the slow movers, and some are pelagic. Pelagic means they are found in the open sea, and some of them are sedentary. That means they possess stalk. And this stalk is attached to some substratum, so that's why they are immovable. Some of the forms are immovable, most of them are free living, and they are slow moving. And if we see the embryonic layers, because of the presence of ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, these organisms are considered as triploblastic in nature, and all the organ system grade of organization is present. That means almost all the developed organ systems are present with some exceptions, and that's why the organ system grade of organization they exhibit. And if you see the shape, the shape of the echinoderms is somewhat variable. They possess spherical, some of them they possess spherical shape, and some of them are cylindrical ones, and they are star shaped, and of course flower like also. Some of them are flower like. And if we see the symmetry, this is the special feature of the echinoderms which show the symmetry. They show radial symmetry during the adult stage, and whereas the larval forms they show bilateral symmetry. This is the special character of the Echinodermata, and no other phylum shows this type of variation in their symmetry, and mostly they show Pentamerous radial symmetry in adult condition. That means here they show Pentamerous like this. They show in like this. They show Pentamerous radial symmetry. 5-sided, 5-radiated Pentamerous radial symmetry. And when we see the body covering, the body is covered by a delicate epidermis over a firm endoskeleton, that is mesodermal endoskeleton is present, which provided with calcareous plates and with spines are present in the body. And body has no segmentation, body shows no segmentation and no cephalization. Head is completely absent, and that means its head is not distinct, only the and no anterior and no posterior regions, but except the cylindrical forms. But generally the mouth is present on one side, and the anus is present on the opposite side. The side on which mouth is present is called oral surface, and the other surface is called anal surface or aboral surface, whereas anus is situated. And the body surface has five radial areas which are called ambulacral areas, and in between the two ambulacra there is an interradial area or interambulacral region. So you can see this is the ambulacral region and this is the interradial or interambulacral region. Again there is a ambulacral region, interambulacral region, ambulacral region, interambulacral region. So like that, alternately the 5 ambulacral regions are alternated with the interradial areas or interambulacral regions. Coelom, the coelom has some speciality. What is the speciality of the coelom is the true enterocoelomates is present, but the first part of the coelom is modified to become perivisceral coelom with coelomic fluid is present, and second part of it and some portion of the coelom is modified to become water vascular system or ambulacral system. This is the special type of system which is present only in this Echinodermata phylum, which is helpful for locomotion, food capturing, and as well as respiration to some extent. And a portion of the coelom is also modified to become a hemal system in which the amoebocytes are present. So here some of the spines are modified to become pedicellaria, and these are the peculiar organs. They helpful in keeping the body surface always clean. They clear off all algal matter, if algal matter and other matter which are present, which may be deposited on the body, and these pedicellariae, they clear off the body surface always. And locomotion is performed by tube feet, which are a part of the water vascular system or ambulacral system, and these tube feet are a series of hollow projections of the body, and they are also helpful in feeding. And if you see the other characters, the digestive system, let us see, elementary canal is very complete, and it starts with the mouth and a very coiled tube like structure, and mouth on the oral surface and anus on the aboral surface. You can see the mouth on the oral surface and aboral surface. Now in this, see this, so this you can see the mouth, anus is situated. So anus is situated here, and the mouth is situated on the oral surface. This is the oral surface and this is the aboral surface. So on the aboral side anus is present, and on the oral side the mouth is present. Then respiratory system, a variety of respiratory organs you can see in various types of echinoderms. In some forms like sea stars or starfishes, the papillae are the important respiratory organs. In sea urchins or echinoids, peristomial gills are the main respiratory organs. In brittle stars or feather stars, gentle bursae are the main respiratory organs. Whereas in Holothuria, which are called as the sea cucumbers, in which cloacal respiratory trees are the main respiratory organs which are present in the cloaca. And if you see the circulatory system or hemal system is somewhat reduced but open type of circulatory system, but no heart and no blood vessels are present. Excretory system is completely absent and nitrogenous wastes are diffused out via papillae through the process of diffusion. And nervous system is very primitive, which is poorly developed. It consists of radial ganglionated nerve cords and without brain. Sense organs are also poorly developed, as these are most of them are bottom dwellers. Of course, they are present from tide lines. They live at the bottom from tide lines to down to the over 3,600 meters up to the depth. So that's why poorly developed sense organs are present in them. As I said earlier, water vascular or ambulacral system is the special type of system that is present only in echinoderms, which performs the locomotion, feeding, that is capturing of the food material, and also to some extent respiration. Now you can have a look at the ambulacral system here. So this is the ambulacral system, or which is present in all arms of the starfishes or sea stars and all other organs. This water vascular system is present through the madreporite. You can see a blue color structure, round structure here. This is the madreporite through which water enters into the body, and then it will goes out, eliminated outside through the tube feet, and then through this process it captures the food material, and that food material enters along with the water, and then it will be captured into the body, and it will transport in the body through the water vascular system. And the tube feet also helpful. Tube feet, which are part and parcel of the umbilical system, they are also helpful in locomotion and to some extent respiration also performed by the umbilical system or water vascular system. Now if you see the reproductive system, completely sexual reproduction is present. Of course, some forms they also undergo asexual reproduction by self division, but it is not of much important. Most of them are undergo sexual reproduction. Sexes are separate with few exceptions, and but they do not show any sexual dimorphism. And gonads are very simple, with or without ducts. And some of the echinoderms, they also show vivipary, that is, they give birth to the young ones directly. And fertilization, fertilization is always external. They release the male release the sperms, and ova are released by the females into the surrounding water, and where the fertilization takes place. That's why fertilization is external, and which takes place in seawater. Development is indirect with larval stages which undergo metamorphosis. In some forms only one larval stage is present, whereas in some other forms more than one larval form is present. First one larval form is present, it is transformed into the second larval stages, and then undergoes metamorphosis to become adult. And regeneration is very well developed in these organisms, and sometimes some of the forms they undergo autotomy or self-mutilation or self-amputation when they are catched by the predators. To protect themselves, they self-mutilate or self-amputate some of the organs, and later on they regenerate these organs, lost parts. So hence regeneration is very well marked in most of the echinoderms. And these are the general characters of the Echinodermata. So far we have discussed, and let us have a look at the Echinodermata classification in brief. So phylum Echinodermata is classified into two subphylums, Eleutherozoa and Palmatozoa. Eleutherozoa are free swimming without stalk, whereas the Palmatozoans are stalked and sedentary animals, they are immovable. And though these Eleutherozoans are free swimming, they move very slowly, they lead sluggish life. And this Eleutherozoa subphylum is classified into four classes. Class Asteroidea, in which starfishes or sea stars are included. Ophiuroidea, where serpent stars or brittle stars or basket stars are included under Ophiuroidea. Echinoidea, which are sea urchins. Sea urchins or hot urchins or sand dollars or sea biscuits are included under Echinoidea. Holothuroidea, where sea cucumbers are included under Holothuroidea. Then The subphylum Palmatozoa, as I said, they are stalked and sedentary immovable organisms. Only they have only one class under this Palmatozoa, that is class Crinoidea, under which sea lilies and feather stars are included. You can see the sea lilies which are stalked and attached to some substratum, and feather stars are also present here, and they are also attached to some substratum by a stalk-like structure. They are immovable. Lastly, if we see the unique characters of the Echinodermata, these are exclusively marine. All echinoderms are exclusively marine, and not even a single species is present in freshwater or on land. And they possess a separate symmetry in larval stages as well as in adult stages. Bilateral symmetry can be shown by the larval stages, and radial symmetry in adult stages we can see. And body surface is demarcated into ambulacral and ambulacral areas. Ambulacral, I told you, ambulacral areas where the arms are present. In between the arms there is interambulacral areas. Endoskeleton of calcareous plates with spines is present. This is also a special and unique character of the echinoderms. And the part of coelom, as I said earlier, which is modified to water vascular system or ambulacral system, which is meant for locomotion, capturing and transportation of the food material, and to some extent respiration also useful. Then the greatly reduced circulatory system and greatly reduced the nervous system is primitive type. All these characters give a unique nature to all echinoderms. Thank you.